Hey, Vinyl Community, it's David Michael. It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon. I don't even know why I'm inside today. It's one of those rare days in northern Canada, plus 25. Not that it's that rare, but it doesn't come around our parts very often. Been doing housework all day, yard work actually more specifically. And I thought I'd be remiss if I didn't come in and finish part two of my 44 album vinyl haul from about a week ago now. So first of all, cheers. We're still hitting hard the Pepsi throwback, and I'm desperately hoping for sponsorship kickback. Pepsi, here we go. And trust me, it's hot enough today where I kind of warrant a cold drink. All right, we're gonna get right to this. What you're listening to right now is probably in my top 5 movies of all time. I used to have an original movie poster of this on my bedroom wall for like 20 years, and finally it disintegrated. Along with my original, I had an original Great Rock and Roll Swindle poster that I bought for next to nothing in about 85, and that just disintegrated with all my moves over the years. I digress. What we're listening to right now is the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. This is the reissue on green vinyl that was reissued about a year ago on Real Gone. One of my favorite soundtracks, Cramps, The Damned, who else is on this? Rocky Erickson. Favorite song on here is probably TSOL, Nothing For You. Anyways, that's what's playing right now. We're going to blow through this. There's a whole whack left, and I'm not sure how much we're going to get through here. But you know what? We're going to give it a try. Well, like I said, once again, hang in with me, and we'll plow through this. I've done very, very little research on these records, so what I do know is going to be just off the top of my melon. Surprisingly, and I just realized one of the new arrivals that I had is around the corner, and I'm not going to go get it, so you have to trust me on this one. But I only got 2 records in the mail, and I've been really slowing down with the new releases. And just slowing down in general after this 44 album haul. I didn't get any used records this week. Like I said, it's a week removed since that haul I got, and I haven't really got anything of note. Time to wind it down a bit, just a little bit, unless something kind of presents itself. But like I said, I got 2 new things in the mail, and there are 2 of the latest of the Iron Maiden reissues. Last video had 2, this video has 2. Whatever was reissued that I didn't get, that I'm not showing you, I already have original copies of. I'll pick them up if they go on sale. If they go on clearance, I'll get them. If not, I got my original copies of A Matter of Life and Death and those ones. But what I did get is Dance of Death, and right around the corner, what you can't see is Rock and Rio, which is playing that one. And Dance of Death, I had an original copy that someone offered me an ungodly amount of money for last year, and I had to take it. I kind of hedged my bets that it would be reissued, and it was. On black vinyl. I hate those picture discs that came out for those Iron Maidens. Ugh. Anyways, just two new releases came in the mail. Iron Maiden, Rock and Rio, and Dance of Death. Okay, let's get right to this. From that 44 album haul, if you saw my last video, then all the details about what happened in that were in that video. Go back and watch that if you've not seen that one. Some jazz titles. I found some original, pretty cool jazz albums. This one I'm not that familiar with. It's an original 1961 or 62. I'm not sure what year this came out in again. Original Impulse, distributed in Canada by Spartan, of Kai Winding, or Winding, however you want to pronounce it. It's the incredible Kai Winding trombones. Of course, there's original. It's original mono Impulse records. Of course, you have to be partial to trombone heavy jazz to kind of get a liking for this. But anything original Impulse, come on. For $1, I'm going to pick this up every day of the week. So anyways, that was one of the jazz finds I did get. The next 3 are all kind of intertwined. 2 Dave Brubeck's original Columbia 6i copies of Jazz Goes to Europe. This album I'm not that familiar with, to be honest with you. And Jazz Impressions of Eurasia, Dave Brubeck Quartet. Like I said, these are all original Columbia 6i. I don't know what you think of Dave Brubeck, but I think every year since he was born, he wins the award for the whitest man in the world. I mean, if you think of the typical white man, Dave Brubeck. He wins it every year, I tell you right now. Anyways, awesome stuff. I am slightly familiar with this album. Not too bad, not too bad. And then kind of associated with Dave Brubeck is Paul Desmond. This is an original RCA copy of Desmond Blue with strings. Paul Desmond, if you don't know, Paul Desmond was the saxophone player in the Dave Brubeck quartet. I'm not sure what else I need to say about Dave Brubeck. He said he's all over Time Out and all those famous albums. So I thought I'd give this one a try. I've not heard any of his solo albums, but you know, being quite partial to Time Out and those albums like that, that was a no-brainer. Paul Desmond. There's going to be some standard stuff coming up. There's some stuff I've found in other videos. I've found other copies of, which will kind of make its way around to other people. Some stuff I've never heard of before, like this one, Pontiacs. The Pontiacs, it seems like it's a little bit of a desired album. It's pretty much just like, the foreword and the back here is done by Kim Wilson of the Fabulous Thunderbirds. This is from 1989. And you know what? It is, if I had best describe this, it would be Fabulous Thunderbirds. It's kind of the white man blues kind of album of the time. Not bad album. I'll have to say, I just never heard of the Pontiacs. If you know this album, let me know. Anyways, that was one of those dollar finds. A couple, just, you know, kind of regular stock finds, but they're nice clean copies that, you know, to be honest, I'll probably use as trade bait. But whenever I see an original clean copy of the Cars' first album, I pick that up. And a mainstay of probably anyone's collection really is the Best of Blondie. Maybe not for you, but for me, to me it's a mainstay. Nice chrysalis, pretty clean copy. All right. Menagerie. Menagerie was, if I'm pronouncing that right, and you couldn't tell I took 9 years of French in school. It's required in Canada, you take French. This album's called Libre Service, or Self-Service. This is in the shrink, actually, with the original grease pen. If you remember those old record stores like Sam the Record Man in Canada, they use grease pens for the price. $6.99, so I've been paid for this one. They were a progressive rock band from Quebec, as you know. Apart from Rush, most progressive rock came from Quebec, where it's still massive there. I do have a copy of this, and it's quite a good album. It's an original Polydor pressing, but this is a definite nice upgrade. In the shrink, looks like it's nary seen a turntable. I'm trying to think of new ways to describe vinyl. Probably failing miserably, but anyways. That was one of those thrift store dollar finds. Menagerie Libre Service, or Self-Service in English. Donovan. I've had a run of finding Donovan albums. I couldn't tell you, and I'm not sure if they're just all of a sudden appearing or I just didn't take notice of them before, but this is my third Donovan album I found in a while. And this is a very nice original Epic Records copy. And I'm afraid to even pronounce his album, Barabajagal. It has the song Atlantis on it, and you probably know the song Atlantis. If not, please go on YouTube. But that was a nice dollar find. Like I said, I've gotten 3 original Donovan albums around this same era for $3 total of late. So that was a nice find. And I'm guessing that probably Donovan wasn't really on my radar before, although I knew who he was, obviously, and I knew the hits. Just through people showing it on YouTube and the YouTube vinyl community, maybe my mind has kind of trained myself to kind of notice those things when they're out in the thrift stores. Something, I don't really have a lot of birds in my collection. I think I might have a couple, but you know what? I'm not the biggest birds fan. I'm not that familiar, not that, you know, I guess studied of a birds fan. But this was a $1.99. Like I said, some of these price stickers are still on here. I just haven't had time to take them off yet. So this is the Birds. I don't even know where I'm going with this one. The Birds' Greatest Hits. And honestly, as far as the Birds go, this might be all I'll need, to be honest with you, unless I super fall in love with this album. I know the hits. You know the hits. I know the hits. Unless I go through a kind of a renaissance with the birds. You know, this might be all I ever need. And for $1.99, I'll take that one. So yeah, I think now that I look at, on the back has a, you know, some of their other albums are out, and as I'm looking at this, this might be my only Birds album I have. Yeah, and that's good enough. That was $1.99. This one I'm pretty excited about. Even my friends who don't like country, they have this album in their collection. And my dad had it. My dad who's no longer with us. So whenever I see these albums that kind of remind me of him, music he would play when I was young, like Marty Robbins and Conway Twitty and Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard, all those guys. I picked them up, and this is an incredibly clean copy of Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs. It was $1.99, as the price sticker might indicate. And I said, it's an original Columbia 6i. For those of you who might be interested in that kind of stuff. Very, very incredibly clean copy. Last year I found a sealed copy, but it was kind of like a late 60s, early 70s pressing. But this is an original Canadian pressing of that one. And it's very super nice and clean. And when I think of these things, I think of Billy Hurst, Andy's Valentine, Liam Dyer, those people like that. And I think, wow, it's good enough for them. Maybe I'll give it a punt. This album, not that familiar with. I know the band quite well, and this album has just seemingly bypassed me over the years. But it's Manfred Mann's Earth Band, The Good Earth. And like I said, sorry about the price sticker. I'm not trying to be a show off. I literally have not had time with work and family to get down to the dirty business of taking 44 price stickers off records. But The Good Earth, this is an original Bronze Records distributed by Warner copy. And as I look at the track listing, nothing jumps out at me, to be honest with you. But for this, I paid the ungodly price of $2.99 for this one. But I've heard enough things I've heard enough good things about kind of this era of Manfred Mann that early 70s, I'll give it a try for that. So The Good Earth was one of those. One of the many finds I had, and this is going to be a shout out to Craig Moore. Craig, you might know, who lives in Australia. I'm a big fan of Australian 80s music, and I have a pretty big collection. But this one has never come across, come across my hands locally. It's the first album by the Models. And the Models, after this album, they were known in Canada as the Australian Models, and they had a big hit album. It did well in Canada, called Out of Sight, Out of Mind, or Out of Mind, Out of Sight, one of those two. And I really loved that album, and I loved the album before that. But their first album I've never come across, and this is a Boomerang Records Australia copy of the Models. One of my most favorite kind of Australian 80s bands is the Models. So I think now I have all their albums on vinyl. The Weather Report. I believe this is self-titled. This is Wayne Shorter, Jaco Pastorius. If I see those guys kind of involved in the Weather Report albums, I pick those up. So a really nice, clean copy of Weather Report. Not that you all need to see the record labels. I'm trying not to be that guy. And I'm trying to rush through this video, to be honest with you. So, Weather Report. What are we out here? Okay, I'll try to speed this along. This one, I knew nothing about this, and I picked it up based on the cover, thinking it might be something vaguely progressive rock. If you look at the cover, it's a band called Dreams, and it's called Imagine My Surprise. And I was kind of crossing my fingers that it would be, like I said, a progressive rock kind of thing. Kind of looks vaguely like it might be that. Something interesting, and it was pretty good. Actually, it's not that at all. It's kind of a jazzy funk. And the drummer for this band is Billy Cobham. Billy Cobham, who's recorded one of my favorite, jazz experimental albums of all time called Spectrum. But as soon as I saw Billy Cobham was involved in this album, it was a no-brainer just to try it for $1. But like I said, Dreams, Imagine My Surprise. I don't think it's incredibly valuable, but it was a fun listen. So that was a nice little surprise. So I'm trying to make sure these albums don't fall over here. A copy of Cla 2. Don't know really to say about Cloud 2. Cloud 2 I'm not incredibly up on. I have a couple of their albums, and I maybe have played them once at most. Not that I don't like them, just I haven't really had a chance to sit down and really kind of absorb their catalog. But this was a nice copy of Cloud 2 that was part of that haul. You're gonna laugh at this one, but you know what? Friday nights, sometimes you just want to get into some funky disco kind of stuff. Wild Cherry. Man, isn't that one of the best covers for that era? Obviously, you all know the hit song on this. Play the Funky Music, White Boy. Anyways, Wild Cherry, really nice clean copy of probably their biggest album, obviously. This guy I only know from selling his records at my old record stores, and really the only ones that would sell are his ones that he did with Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead. I saw this album. I thought I'd give it a try. $1, throw it in the pile. Let's give it a try. This is on Horizon Music, which I really don't know. David Grissom, Hot Dog. And I haven't had a chance to play this one yet, but he's holding a mandolin in the picture. Don't know if it's going to be for me, but you know what? If not, I'll find a good home for it, but I'll always give it a try. A lot of these things like this, you know what? Not to go too far into a tangent, but like jazz, like folk and roots, which are kind of like the stores I've always worked in, are those folk and jazz and roots, heavy blues, heavy stores. It's not always my favorite music, but I want to be able to go into any group of people talking about music, and I want to be able to at least offer an opinion on something, at least know what I'm talking about. So you know what, and I do run into people I know who are very roots music oriented or very blues or jazz, and you know I want to be at least educated on stuff that I don't know about. So I don't want to go into a group of friends and say, oh fuck, jazz is shit, or that stuff is crap. I want to be able to at least have an informed opinion and tell you why it's not my thing. Pepsi, come on. Anyways, so, you know, when I pick up these albums that I'm not sure about, you know what, I know I could find a home for it if I don't like it. But at least I know, at least I can offer an informed opinion, I guess is what I'm trying to get at here. This is the second copy I've found of this in at least 6 months, but it's kind of a no-brainer if you find a super clean copy of Elvis. And this is Haloa from Hawaii via satellite, his TV special. And they had the gall to charge $2 for this one. Like I said, super clean Elvis albums I just pick up because although I'm not like some of you all who collect everything and all Elvis, I'm kind of selective what I keep and what I pick, and something like this will stay in the collection. It's something that I remember my dad playing. Like, once again, I always reference my dad, but he was a big influence on me, and my dad was a big Elvis fan. So Elvis, Aloha from Hawaii. I can't believe we're almost getting to the end here. Almost. I say that. Frank Sinatra's greatest hits on Reprise. I love these Frank Sinatra Reprise album, these labels. I gotta show you this one. I love the brown Reprise labels. But look at, look at Frank's face there. I don't know if I've seen a Reprise Records where there was a picture on the label. I just think that's kind of cool. In the nerdiest of ways possible. But Frank Sinatra's greatest hits, once again, not the biggest Frank Sinatra fan, so a greatest hits will probably do me just fine. And it's a nice clean copy of that one, so I'll take that one all day. Frank Sinatra's greatest hits on Reprise. Oh, back to the country. And I know nothing of this album, but the fact that it's on RCA and most of Willie Nelson's catalog was on Columbia or CBS or one of those. I'm not quite sure what this is, but it's The Minstrel Man by Willie Nelson. So I don't know, are these old recordings? I have not investigated it yet. They say all selections have been previously released, so I'm not sure where these appeared on that would be on RCA. If he was on RCA, I'm not familiar with his RCA output. But anyways, like I said, once again, for the third time today, I'm going to reference my dad, Willie Nelson, Marty Robbins, Elvis. Just good memories of my dad, and I don't know this album whatsoever or what it's all about. So anyways, if you know, let me know. Willie Nelson, The Minstrel Man. One of those kind of lost Joni Mitchell albums. This is from 1982, after she left, I believe it was Reprise or Asylum. She signed to Geffen and made a few albums that just are kind of lost in the void. Some of those videos got heavy MTV play, or some of the videos from singles from those albums. And a lot of those Geffen albums just kind of like, I don't know, they're kind of just, they're not really, I'm not sure if they're well thought of or not. They're just kind of, like I said, they're just kind of out there. And this one is Wild Things Run Fast. I don't know this Joni Mitchell album at all, and I don't think it was even a CD I carried in one of my record stores over the years. But $1. It's Joni Mitchell. It's worth a try. Anyways, Wild Things Run Fast by Joni Mitchell. One of those kind of lost in the void Geffen record releases she did in the 80s. This one I bought kind of hoping, one of the websites that I Googled this on, it had progressive rock as kind of a subgenre. I gave it a try. It's actually, I have to say, it's a really good album. It's a bit folky, and then kind of some heavy guitars come into it. It's kind of a little bit all over the place, but it's Gilles Valaquette, sorry. Once again, my friend is fucking me up here. Gilles Valaquette. Deuxième Arrête. I'm sorry for you French people. I'm sorry. Grade 9 was so long ago. My French is kind of, unless it's hockey terms. I could sit and watch a hockey game in French and understand all of it. When it comes to pronouncing things, I'm sorry. I'm an insult to your language, and I apologize for that. Anyways, this is early 70s, and I gave it a punt for $1. It's not a bad album at all. Like I said, it's everything I said it was. A little bit of acoustic, a little bit of folk, a little bit of hard guitars in it. I wasn't disappointed by it. What's a thrift store haul without Michael Jackson's Thriller? Like I said, it's one of those albums you see for $1 you got to pick up, because you're always going to find a home for it. I've already found enough of these to Franken album a perfect condition copy together. So I find these. It's good trade bait. The original posters inside, a little bit of cover wear. So, like I said, what's a thrift store haul without Michael Jackson's Thriller? An album I never owned, George Harrison, Living in the Material World. That was $1.99. My George Harrison collection is pitiful at best. I think I have All Things Must Pass. Ooh, Cloud 9, and that might be it. But yeah, I'll give this a try. I don't think these albums are well regarded among fans, but who knows. We'll give this a spin tonight, and we'll see what I think. But it's an original Apple Records pressing. Anyways, that's what it says here. George Harrison, Living in the Material World. We're just down to the nitty-gritty here, I promise you. A really nice, really pristine copy of Queen the Game. It's not the reflective cover, unfortunately, which those albums, if you find those in the wild, the reflective covers all come apart. It looks all worn. So I almost prefer these ones, the kind of standard edition ones. This is a definite upgrade to the one I have. So Queen the Game. That was a nice $1 find. Like I said, I can't tell you, every mega thrift store haul I have has to have a Police album. And a really nice condition copy of Ghost in the Machine. I might take this with my other copy that I do own and kind of piece together a really super nice copy of this one. Police, Ghost in the Machine. A lot of these albums don't need any mention or any kind of talking about, because they're pretty standard albums. But like this one, Jay Giles Band, Freeze Frame. An album that I think I might have had on cassette back in the day. Like I said, you find all these albums, the pile gets bigger. You'd be stupid just to leave this behind, because like I said, there's a lot of good trade bait stuff here. Just kind of piece together lots and put towards albums that I do really want. Because I'm at that point now where most of my most wanted albums are really expensive items. You know, $50 range, $50 to $100 range. So these are good little things to put together, to do some trades with friends and whatnot. Freeze Frame. And if, you know, I quite like, actually, I must say, I quite like older Jay Giles. That was introduced to me by a gentleman in Canada called Terry David Mulligan, who was he's a media personality. But he has a radio show Saturdays on one of our local roots and blues stations. And he always plays older Jay Giles, and that's how I kind of fell in love with older Jay Giles. 80s stuff, fine by me too. And that story, once again, that story went nowhere, just to kind of let you know. I like older J. Geils. This one was an interesting find. I have a single version of this album, but I've never seen a box set of this album. It's got a cut corner, so I'm assuming it was a delete. It's the All This and World War II soundtrack, and it's all songs, and it's a box set. I have a version that's this is a regular record sleeve, but I've never seen a box of this one. And it's all Beatles songs done by artists like Elton John, Brian Ferry, Roy Wood, Keith Moon, Rod Stewart, David Essex, Jeff Lynne, the Bee Gees, amongst other. Tina Turner's on here, Status Quo, the Brothers Johnson. To give you some examples, it's a double album. Like I said, I've never seen this box set before for this, and maybe I just, like I said, haven't been looking for it, but it's one record, and second record's hiding here somewhere. It's inside here, trust me. And it comes in this kind of gatefold package that fits inside the box. Comes with a nice book. I've never actually seen the movie, and I have no idea what it's about. Like I said, I know of the soundtrack. But that was a nice find, and it was what was it? It was a whopping $1, $2 for this box set of World War II. All Beatles songs done by just various people. I haven't heard this album in a few years. I'll probably give it a little listen tonight. And guess what? We made it. I'm not sure if I showed all 44 because I've been listening to things in pieces, and I'm looking around. There's little piles of records you don't see behind you. So if you're counting, if you're that anal to count, I'm not sure if I hit 44 or not. There's probably some hiding. Anyways, I want to wrap this all up by thanking everyone who watched my last video, who watched my European videos. The views on those videos have been just really, they make me warm inside. And I'm really behind catching up on some of your videos. And one thing I have to say, so I hope you hung in this long here. If I don't reply to your comments, it's not because I'm a dick. I promise you. I'm probably the nicest guy you'll ever meet. I promise you. I work these crazy hours, and when I get these comments, sometimes emails come after the fact, and I get these emails late at night. I just can't, I don't have time to jump on a computer at work. And then I just forget. So like I said, if you're leaving comments on my videos and I don't get back to you, it's nothing personal. I try to hit them when I can, and then I just kind of, like I work these weird wonky hours, and I'm not anywhere near a computer. And if I pull out my phone and start answering questions on YouTube on my phone at work, I probably won't be having a job very long. So like I said, I try my best, and I'm going to try to get better at it, take some time and respond to your comments when I can, or a little bit more than that. Anyways, we're going to wrap this up now. I didn't think we'd get through it all. And like I said, if I missed any, we'll do it next video. As far as I'm concerned, we're going to wrap up that thrift store haul now. Yeah, and I don't know if I'll have a bigger haul this summer. That was probably one of the biggest I've ever had for 2 days. That was pretty amazing. So anyways, thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I try to blow through this one today, so maybe this one's boring. I don't know. Pepsi, please sponsor me. All right, that's enough of that. Have a good week, everyone. We'll be back probably middle of the week or so. I've got some new arrivals coming in. We'll show those off. Any bits and bobs I forgot from that haul or other hauls, I'll get around to showing. Peace, everyone. Have a great week. Take care.